I think the Georgia Bulldogs are sitting in an excellent position right now for some of the state's top young prospects. I'm going to talk about all of that in today's video because earlier this week I had to update my own personal rankings for Dog Post and Prep Red Zone, ranking the 2026 prospects in Georgia, the best sophomores in the state. And I know a lot of you are thinking to yourselves, I'm just now starting to follow recruiting in the 25 class. It's way too early to talk about these 2026 kids. But I promise you, you watch this video, you will be a smarter Georgia fan and know more about Georgia recruiting and high school football in Georgia than 99% of Georgia fans. Okay, so stay with me because I'm going to teach you and talk to you about some ballers who are going to be superstars at the college level. Okay, now the first guy that I was going to mention was Julian Lewis. He's now in the 25 class. So in my opinion, the easy top prospect in the state of Georgia in 2026 is Tyler Atkinson. If you follow my work, if you've been on Dog Post, if you know anything about Georgia high school football, you know all about this young man. 6'3", 215, out of Grayson High School, absolutely crushed Dylan Raiola and the Buford Wolves in the playoffs last year. He made 197 tackles last year as a sophomore in 7A. It's really unbelievable. 25 tackles for a loss, 10.5 sacks. All the other outlets have him ranked as an outside linebacker, but I'm telling you right now, Georgia likes him at middle linebacker. He's versatile. He can run down the ball carrier. He's explosive off the snap, lived in the backfield. He is a quarterback's worst nightmare, and I think Georgia is in the driver's seat to land him right now. So that's my number one player. He is an easy 5-star, just like this Bulldog at collegebronze.com. Quick plug, okay, before I go down to the rest of the list. But you're not going to find another Bulldog statue on the market like this bad boy right here. And you can get a discount today. Promo code DAWGPOST, DAWGPOST. Get yours now so you have it before the football season. All the info is in the description below in this video. That's where you can order. And when you order, don't forget that promo code. Okay, number two, second best player in the state of Georgia, 2026 class, who also holds a Georgia offer, Xavier Griffin out of Gainesville, 6'4", 215, long, athletic, coming off a big season, 52 tackles, 20 tackles for a loss, lived in the backfield, 9 sacks. You just look at him and it's easy to see the 5-star potential. He is only going to get better. Georgia wants him badly. A bunch of schools want him badly. I love everything he brings to the table. So that is my number 2 player in the state. I'm a little higher on him than everyone else. That's okay. They'll come around. Number 3, wide receiver Aaron Gregory out of Douglas County, 6'2", 170 pounds. I went to go see him and his teammates this spring because he is a big deal. I'm going to talk about his teammate in just a second. But Aaron Gregory caught 41 passes last year for just under 800 yards and 8 touchdowns as a sophomore. Fluid route runner. He can get open. He can test defenses vertically. He's got sure hands. He's a baller. Okay, this is a dog on the field. He is a pass-catching machine. I think he's in for a massive junior season. Douglas County just got DJ Bordeaux at quarterback. He was Alpharetta's quarterback last year. He'll be at Douglas County. He's going to throw Aaron Gregory the ball a lot. They got weapons all over the place, but he is a big deal. He's my number 3. Number 4, his teammate, Jordan Carter. Some people think he may be the best player in the state, not Tyler Atkinson. If it's not number 1, he's number 2. I've got him at number 4. And maybe I do move him up in the future. He's a dog as well. He's a kid that has his head on straight. I talked to him in February at the Under Armour camp. He knows how good he can be, and he showed it last year. 84 tackles, 13 tackles for a loss, 15 sacks, 6'3", 225. He told me in person, like, I'm hearing from Georgia, but not as much. Aaron Gregory said the same thing. I really forgot to mention that. But he said, like, I hear from Georgia, but I'm hearing from other schools more. These two are no slam dunk to Georgia, but they're from the Atlanta area, and I think Georgia has a little bit of making up ground to do for both those guys. But if they do, I can see Georgia gaining some momentum. They both like Georgia. I think they would both like to hear more from Georgia, but they were both in Athens after I spoke with them. So I do think Georgia's coming around to both, but Jordan Carter is a beast, and I try not to use that word a lot because everyone throws the term beast on kids. This kid was a beast last year as a sophomore. He's going to be even better as a junior. He's got 5-star potential, and Georgia is in the mix with him. but they still need to keep it up. At number 5, a guy I like better than most. I don't think other people have him ranked number 5. Bryce Perry Wright. He's a defensive lineman at Buford, and he was a baller last year. He was really productive. Of course, he was playing alongside a lot of really good, talented players, and he made 51 tackles, 9 tackles for a loss, 7.5 sacks from the inside. But, you know, we saw Buford play a lot because at the time, Dylan Raiola was going to Buford. Jaden Perlotti still on the commit list, but we had to watch him. Was committed to Georgia, kind of still is, but he might flip to Tennessee. But Bryce Perry Wright, who played by right beside Edric Houston, who's a 5-star who signed with Ohio State, Bryce Perry Wright was making play after play after play. Easy to notice him. And he was a sophomore, just making plays and living in the backfield. Little undersized, 6'3", about 255, 260. I'm sure he'll put on more weight. But Georgia offered recently after teams like Ohio State and Michigan and a lot of other major programs. So Georgia's trying to get back into it. But the production, and when I watched Buford play, he was all over the place, always making plays. So he's my number 5 player. Number 6, Devin Carter, a wide receiver out of Cedar Grove. His father, Dexter Carter, was a running back at Florida State in like the late 80s. He was drafted in the first round in 1990. So he has the talent. His dad was a very good player. He brings speed, 6 foot, 170 pounds, speed. He brings track speed to the field. He's a natural receiver, soft hands, always finds a way to get behind defensive backs. He is one of the fastest players in the state for that 2026 class. Very good player. Georgia has offered. I don't think they are the team in the lead right now, but they're in the mix. They've got some work to do, though. Of course, Florida State's going to be in the mix. I think Alabama, LSU, basically everyone wants this young man because he can absolutely fly. Georgia's got to pick it up, but they have offered, and they are in the mix, from what I've gathered. Now, the next 3 guys all play at Carrollton. My number 7, 8, and 9 prospect all play at Carrollton. First guy, Ryan Mosley. Now, I definitely think I'm higher on this young man than everyone else. I don't think you're going to see him in the top 10 on any of the other outlets in the 26 class. 6'3", 200. He caught 31 passes last year for just under 500 yards, 7 touchdowns. As a sophomore at Carrollton, he had Julian Lewis throwing him the football. He's going to throw Ryan Mosley the ball a lot this year. Big play guy. He's got a big catch radius. He's a big target down the field. He can run. He can get open. He's got great ball skills, and he is only going to get better. So eventually, you know, I think we might see some of the other outlets move this guy closer to the top 10, maybe into the top 10. Right now, I've got him at number 7. I think he is a very good player who's only going to get better. Number 8. A cornerback, Dorian Barney. He's committed to Alabama, was at Peachtree Ridge. Now he's at Carrollton. Long, athletic, already looks like he might be able to suit up at the college level. He's only going to get better as a junior and a senior, but he's got lockdown potential with his linked natural athleticism. But he's committed to Alabama. Not a guy Georgia fans need to really know about just yet. After him, Zealous Hicks was at Parkview as a freshman, is now at Carrollton, and he'll play there as a junior. I believe it was at Carrollton last year. Anyway, 6'2", 180 pounds, covers a lot of ground, can hit. He shows good ball skills, but he started as a freshman at Parkview and made a lot of plays. You look at him, he's put together physically. He's got good instincts. He can help against the run, help against the pass. Crazy big offer list. Georgia has offered. They're in the mix. But again, I'm not saying just yet that Georgia's leading. They lead for several guys that I think are just outside my personal top 10, though. But he is at number 9 for me. Really good player. Number 10, our first running back. I think he's the best running back in the 2026 class in the state of Georgia, and that's Jonas Walton. Ran wild as a freshman and made it clear that I'm one of the best running backs in the state, even though I'm just a freshman. Last year as a sophomore, he ran for just under 1,700 yards, 22 touchdowns. He's got a physical, compact size. He's 5'9", but he's 200 pounds. So he's got a muscular frame. He will run through you, but he brings plenty of speed. He will outrun defenders to the end zone. Every time this young man touches the football, he has the ability to score. Great combination of physical toughness, tackle breaking ability, speed, burst. He's a yards after catch guy. He's a chain mover, and he's looking to score. He averaged 9 yards a carry last year. Did it as a sophomore. One of the best running backs, maybe the best running back in West Georgia. In my opinion, he's the best running back in that 26 class in the state. Georgia has offered. They offered him as a freshman. And I think Georgia is one of the teams very high on his list of schools. Will not surprise me at all if this young man entered Athens down the road or committed to Georgia. I said that weird. But I could see him in Athens. That's what I meant to say. So those are my top 10. And listen, I know it's a long way to go. I know that. But it's mid-July. Relax. This is the time you can, for a second, focus on some of the younger, best players in the state of Georgia. I've got to make the rankings, so I might as well talk about them and explain why, because I think Georgia's in a good spot for a lot of these guys. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. If you watch till the end of this video, you know more about some of the best high school football players in Georgia than 99% of people out there who think they know what they're talking about. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you over on Dog Post.